When I was 24 years old, I had graduated from college, started a teaching career for a year, and was married to a fireman, and we were ready to plan our future. I got pregnant, we had a child, and it was a different child. It wasn't the child that we expected we'd have. We learned that our child, just minutes after his birth, that he was Down syndrome. It took a while to adjust. It was as if we had two children and we lost one. The child that we had planned on wasn't there anymore. Instead, we were left with a little child that had been labeled Down syndrome. A lot of the questions I had was, why did this happen to us? I'm a Sunday school teacher. I'm a Christian. I've gone to church. Why didn't it happen to someone else? And then I thought, there's people that don't even take care of their kids. Why didn't it happen to them? Through my life, God has revealed to me, Sean was given to me for a special reason. My husband and I are not special people, but God has given us a special child. And as I went through the process of getting used to having a child that had problems, I started reading about Down syndrome, and then I started writing. One night I was writing and asking God questions, and God revealed this to me. It's an article I wrote. It's into Home Life magazine. Come by here. Dear God, the words of the African hymn keeps running through my mind. Kumbaya, my Lord, kumbaya. Come by here, my Lord, come by here. What a difference you could make in my family if you would only come to my home. What joy I could behold as I watch you heal the eyes of my Down syndrome son, Sean. It would be a mother's delight to see those slanted little lines growing bright with wisdom and knowledge. I can just see his jack-o'-lantern smile as his body begins to grow and stretch to normal size. Those cracked and bleeding lips would be normal again. I could throw away all of his medicine. It would never irritate his lips again. Sometimes I wish I had lived in the days when Jesus was here on earth. No matter how large the crowd, I would wait for Jesus to walk by so I could touch the hem of his garment and have Sean healed. No matter how steep the building, I would risk my life to lower Sean from the roof into Jesus' presence. If Jesus could heal people physically, couldn't he heal them mentally? Oh Lord, come by here. But it suddenly occurs to me, you have already come by here. Your presence is in my home in the form of my son, but the healing is different. Through Sean, you are healing imperfections in me. Sean has made me so aware of the many areas that need changing. He has taught me the true meaning of dignity and worth of each person. He has taught me the meaning of pure and selfless love. Also, Sean has driven away false pride and replaced it with humility. Sean has allowed me to experience emotions many people never know. I know how it feels to hurt, and I try to reach out to others who are hurting. Sean turned my inward outlook outward. God, Sean has even helped me understand you better. As I watch my son being rejected and hurt by others, I am reminded of the great sorrow you must have felt as the world rejected and hurt your son, Jesus. Sean has taught me to take one day at a time. His future is uncertain. I know it is in your hands. Without surgery, Sean's congenital heart will let him live until late teens. Right now, surgery is impossible, but someday a drug may be discovered to lower the hypertension in Sean's lungs, thus making his surgery possible. Sean's healing here on earth may be hopeless, but my hope lies in heaven. As I enter the gates of heaven, I know I will be greeted with a sweet voice calling, "Come by here, mother, come by here." There before my eyes will be my son, perfect physically and mentally. To understand illness and healing is hard, but I know it is in your hands. Only you know what is best. I will always trust in you. If healing does not occur here on earth as a Christian, I have the assurance it will occur in heaven. Thank you, God, and grateful mother. His heart defect just made him so weak. He'd come and be at home and have caregivers. At one point, he was on hospice a couple of times, but he still fought on. And finally, when he was 32, he passed away. And one of my greatest desires was that I would see Sean, that I would be with Sean when he passed. At his funeral, when we were planning his funeral, they gave me the little brochure to see what little poem I wanted written. And God had already prepared that poem. It was the letter that I just read. It was, "So come by here," was what was written there. He was full of life and stories, and he made me laugh a lot and gave me a lot of hope. He blessed our lives. His life mattered. It would have been so sad to think that he went through life and it never mattered, but it did matter. He had over 200 people at the funeral. They recognized that he had worth. He's taught me that God will never leave me or forsake me. He has planned for Sean even before he was born. He had a plan for his life and our life. And I am Betty Kline, and I am not alone.